Hey guys, today we have some interesting news about Killing Floor 3. Now I don't think I've really uploaded Killing Floor on this channel before, but Killing Floor 3 was the next game I was really looking forward to. It's a zombie survival game, sort of reminiscent of COD Zombies, but a lot more hardcore, a lot more scary, and a lot more intense with a lot of bosses. I used to play the absolute hell out of Killing Floor 2 back when it came out. I think it came out in like 2016. I first found it on console and played it then, loved it, played it for a very long time, many years, and eventually got it on PC and discovered all the modding and stuff with it. The first two games also had a sort of distinct feel and look to them, being very steampunk and spooky, and honestly a pretty unique feel to them. But now, this third one coming out here in this modern era of gaming where everything is kind of generic and bland, Killing Floor 3 was being accused of also being that, a cheap cash grab by some of the former players. And that's only after seeing gameplay for themselves. But what we found out when getting our hands on the beta and getting to play and as information came out and stuff is that this time around they've kind of scrapped the classic class-based system and decided to make it like a hero shooter and lock the classes to specific characters. Along with that, people were pointing out that the weapons looked a bit generic. There was poor optimization and stability, even though it was, a beta, of course. I did get a chance to play in this beta, so that's the gameplay you're going to be seeing in the background. Overall, I thought the game was alright. It wasn't bad. Definitely one I'd be checking out because they had a lot of stuff going for it. But it is quite the departure from the previous two entries. And this one seemed to sort of abandon the horror and steampunk aspects of it and move to sort of a generic, bland, futuristic setting of sorts. But ultimately, the hardcore fans expressed their displeasure with the game, even with the ability to submit beta feedback at the end of the beta, which I even partook in. And I played the beta on console, so I didn't really have any performance issues, but I did mention that I did not like that certain classes were restricted to certain characters. But sometime later now, Killing Floor 3 has actually put out a statement, and here's what it says. It says, "Dear Killing Floor fans, we've decided to postpone the Killing Floor 3's launch to an undecided date later in 2025. After taking the time to gather and discuss feedback from our recent closed beta, we've realized that we missed the mark. Our goal isn't just to make Killing Floor 3 an ambitious step forward for the franchise, but also to maintain the core experience that you've come to know and love. With the full support of our parent company, Embracer Group, we're working together on a timeline to address many of the common issues players had during the beta, including performance/stability, UI/UX, lighting, and weapon feeling. While it's too early to say which fixes will be implemented by launch, we can confirm that an update allowing you to independently select your perk class and character is planned for post-release. We look forward to another opportunity to show you a more polished version of Killing Floor 3, and when we're ready to share more details, you will be the first to know. Until then, thank you for your continued patience and overwhelming support." So that's that, and honestly, it's actually pretty surprising. Can you imagine that? A game studio that actually listens to their beta feedback, then delays their game, which was only supposed to release in a couple weeks, to make good to that feedback and make changes to improve their game for the fans. So as long as they at least try, I definitely appreciate the sentiment, and I'm sure a lot of the community definitely does. Even though they should have probably seen that most people actually didn't like being restricted to certain classes to characters, even when that was first announced. But I suppose they wanted people to try it out for themselves to then be able to give feedback. But generally, in the previous Killing Floor games, you were able to customize your character separately and switch between different classes without having to change your characters. But in Killing Floor 3, as mentioned, they were going a more specialist route with it tied together, but it seems they're going to be undoing that, which might not make it for launch per se, but at least shortly after, hopefully. So I'm definitely glad that they'll be making these changes, and hopefully it's for the better. But considering how well they actually listen to beta feedback, it actually makes me pretty optimistic about the game. But let me know your guys' thoughts on all this in the comments down below. What would you personally like to see adjusted in Killing Floor 3 if you've seen any of it or got to try it for yourself? So with that said, I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.